Hello, my name is Sarah Spar Stubbs, and I'm one of the chaplains at Matthews Glen, and I'm grateful we can spend this moment together today. As I am recording this video for you, it is just a couple of days after one of my favorite teams lost a tough game in the NCAA basketball tournament. I'm not going to lie, it was a real big bummer to watch them lose in that fashion. Sometimes life is a bummer. We have these inconveniences, things we were hopeful for that just didn't come to be. And sometimes life is really hard. We've gotten unexpected news that we never wanted to hear. We're facing tough decisions. Life can be really hard. Being a human being can be really hard sometimes. Sometimes we think the people of the Bible that wrote all of this for us just had these amazing lives, and then we get some insight and understand their circumstances. In the New Testament, the book of Philippians is often called the most joyful book or the happiest letter of Paul's letters. And you think, wow, he must have been in a really great place when he wrote this. But the truth is that as Paul wrote this letter to the church of Philippi, he was in jail under house arrest for disturbing the peace while spreading the message of Christ. And in the Roman system, if you were a prisoner, you were responsible for raising your own support for food and supplies. And it might be risky for people to give that kind of financial support to him. So I can imagine he probably was tired after maybe 20 years of traveling to spread the gospel and starting churches. And he had worked hard, and all of that had landed him in prison. And yet he wrote this letter that is such a letter of joy. And he teaches us that our joy is not in the circumstances of our lives or what is happening in this moment, but it is a bigger picture than that. He wrote these words in Philippians chapter 4, verses 4 through 7. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say rejoice. Let your gentleness be known to everyone. The Lord is near. Do not worry about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your request be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. So, yes, Paul was in a tough time in prison for his practice of the faith. And yet, in this tough time, he was writing about joy and purpose, meaning, and peace. He had learned that his circumstances did not determine his joy or a sense of peace. And his joy was not in what was happening with him, but his joy was in the person of Jesus. Paul always had Jesus with him, and because of that, there was joy and peace. Life is hard sometimes. Sometimes it's inconvenient, like the bummer of my team losing a game. Sometimes life is really hard, and we're going through difficult circumstances. But we remember that we do not go through these things alone. Joy and peace can be found no matter what is happening around us. Today, we can be in a place of struggle and also be able to find joy and peace because of the one who is with us in it. I don't know how that meets you where you are today, but it's something for us to think about. I'm grateful for this time that we've had together. I want to close with the final words that Paul wrote in this passage in verse 7. For you today, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. My friends, go in peace. You take care.